Okay, so I'm gonna hop around on this, right? Because obviously it's longer than 30 minutes. I think it's about 58 minutes, but a lot of it is just kind of like waiting for the doctor. The camera didn't really go off and on. So I'm gonna play a little bit from the beginning to give you guys some context, and then we're gonna get to the close, and then we can have a discussion. I'll take some questions afterwards. This is Dr. Connelly's practice.
Have a seat right in that chair there.
Thank you.
All right. So you're just looking at replacing all of your current teeth that you have in there right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or something thereof. I mean, if we can save the back ones and only do the fronts, top and bottom, that's fine.
Okay.
But whatever seems to be the smartest move and the most inexpensive.
Okay. So typically we do like to save teeth if we are able to.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if there's only a few that are like savable, obviously we would take them out. But if you have like a decent amount that are looking okay, then typically we like to try to avoid taking all of the teeth out if at all possible. So we'll have to have doctor just kind of take a look at this x-ray and see what he thinks as far as that goes.
I've had 2 other dentists I've looked at for full implants. Been for consultation both places, and just they couldn't give me finance for one, but then I don't know, they didn't understand me. I don't know. Anyway, I just gave up.
Okay.
I was tired of trying to fight the system. So I don't, like I said, I don't care if it's even from the back, because some of my back teeth are still okay, but
Yeah. Okay.
and then just implant the fronts, whatever we can do.
Okay. Are you having any issues with any of your teeth in there right now? Like, are you having pain?
No, that one just broke.
All right, so a couple things right off the bat. Just a couple things to keep in mind, guys. When we're doing consultations and you're wearing a mask, it's super hard to influence when you wear a mask, right? It's literally covering your face. So you have to be twice as engaged with your tone and with your enthusiasm and your personality. You really have to compensate for it, because it does make a huge, huge difference in your ability to kind of get through to them. So keep in mind, your tone is going to be so important when you guys are wearing a mask. You really have to be very, very engaged with that person to still connect with them. You're going to lose a lot with a mask. Being that you have to wear one, wear it, but just know that, it's more difficult. So you have to be overly aggressive with your tone. That's number one. Number two, if we have somebody, let's not forget what the point of this is. The point of a consultation is to bring someone in and figure out what type of clinical outcome they want, what they can pay for and what they will pay for, and matching those two things up to a treatment plan. That's what we're trying to do. So if somebody comes in and says, he said a lot right there. He said he's already been to 2 consultations. And then he said one time they couldn't get him financed. He said something like, they didn't understand me. And then something like, I was tired of playing the system. And we just kind of listened to that and just moved on. I would not move on from that, right? I'd say, really, but when you say that they didn't understand you, what did you mean by that? Right? I'm trying to figure out why he didn't move forward. Why didn't he move forward with the other treatment plans? I don't want to repeat the same mistake that they made. So he's obviously, he's opening up Pandora's box. This guy's super open right from the beginning. This is an example where if you become too mechanical with how we do the consultations, you can miss something important. So, this isn't his first consultation. He's done research. He's obviously gotten pricing. He's had treatment plans. But, when he says they didn't understand me and I was tired of playing the system, I really don't know what he meant by that. And we don't really find that out anywhere throughout this call. We never really define what that is. So if they say they had a treatment plan and they didn't have a good experience, ask them to elaborate. I don't know. So you said that they didn't understand you. What did you mean? They didn't understand like what you were wanting. They didn't understand what price point you wanted to be at. Tell me where was the miscommunication there? Ask them. You're going to use that. You can't get better information than that. So you don't just gloss over that. We want to know why he didn't move forward, because we're going to do the opposite of that to get him to move forward with this call. So they kind of did it a little bit differently, where they brought the patient in, they took the x-ray immediately, and then brought in the assistant. And then this is where Dr. Connelly comes in. But I'm going to play a couple little parts from this, because again, what he is saying, we have to make sure that we're always listening to what the patient is saying. And I think that's probably what he meant the first time when he said they didn't understand me. But I think you guys will see here.
All right, sorry about that. Wait, doctor's going to step in and just take a look at everything, and we'll come up with
Hey there. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Busy day at work today?
No, I try not to let it get too busy.
Not to get too busy. So what would you like to see us help you with?
Just, I need a movie star smile on a panhandler's budget.
Just smile for me. Okay.
All right, number one, Connelly, he made a joke. You have to laugh. Even if the joke's not good, you have to laugh at their jokes all the time if they're a patient, okay? Movie star smile, panhandler's budget. Obviously, that's a joke. But something you guys didn't hear in the previously is he was like, yeah, I'm just tired of my teeth. You know, I smile and I look like a freaking meth addict. So I'm just sick of it. And he's very aesthetically driven, right? He wants a smile that looks really, really good. The function, even though it's not all there for him and he's got bad teeth, it doesn't bother him near as much as the way that his smile looks. That's what's getting him to the practice, is getting a smile that looks better. But if someone says I want a movie star smile on a panhandler's budget, what's the first thing that we're going to think? What's the first thing that we should be thinking? I would be thinking, what's your definition of a panhandler's budget? Right? So my goal is to figure out, he said a panhandler's budget, which tells me he has a budget in his mind. He has a dollar amount. He's already gotten treatment plans. He has a dollar amount that he's ready to spend. He's also said previously that that he would like to do both the top and the bottom. He says, look, if I can do the top and the bottom, I would rather do the top and the bottom and just get it done if that's feasible. So if that's feasible just means financially, right? So he wants to do both top and bottom and be done with it.
Actually, I have a bad underbite, but
Probably.
So you would prefer something fixed if at all possible.
Well, that's not possible on a panhandler's budget.
all right, I got just a bubble panhandler.
Well, it looks like probably your biggest concern is your upper teeth, right? You want to be able to smile, right?
Yep.
And with the way your teeth are so far up on the top, the bottom are still probably pretty decent from just looking at this X-ray here.
Yep.
Is that the way we would traditionally go with something like this is just remove the remaining teeth and make an upper denture. That's the definitely panhandler's thing, but that's removable.
Right.
Now, when you start going to like a fixed, you're a perfect candidate for this because you've got very large sinuses right up in through here. So we really don't have any good bone back here to place an implant. And so implants can be placed, 2 of them are placed, one here, a couple in the middle, and then we make a beautiful smile. That's, where's that? There you go. So, and even these teeth, we find that people like to even get them whiter than this.
Right.
But that's about what we're talking about when we're talking about it all on 4. There is a transition period. Well, actually, we've been doing more and more where we you walk out with some fixed temporary teeth in there, but they're mainly for show, because
while you're healing,
right? But at least it gives you some teeth up there to work with. And so that's probably what would be the best.
And then wait on the bottom teeth and then get them fixed at a later date.
I would, yep.
I know I got a cavity in the butt, at least one of them.
Yeah, I don't, from what I hear you saying, your biggest concern is you want a nice smile. We can certainly do that with some all-on-4 teeth, just on the top right now. Keep your bottom teeth the way they are. Maybe if this molar gets in the way, we get rid of it. But there's just things that we can do to work with.
Yeah, I just need to know how much and see if I can get financed.
Okay.
I do have Care Credit, and I do have, I don't know what the exact amount is on it. I didn't go with it because I didn't go with the other doctor.
We have some even better options too than Care Credit that might have you lower interest, and it's an actual loan, not a retail credit.
Right.
Something like that. So
when I don't pay, I have to come take my teeth, hold you down and take your teeth out.
Oh, but it's a loan. It's not something.
It's another
like
joke,
where,
Connelly.
The interest keeps accumulating.
That's
and that kind of thing. So,
yeah, and that was one thing that encouraged me to come this way was that you guys had a little bit different.
I think the interest rate's much better too. If you have good credit, the interest rate's really awesome.
So if I was able to do both top and bottom, would you do both top and bottom now? I mean, would you be inclined to do that? Or would you still wait?
Your bottom teeth are in good shape.
Okay.
So I mean, if you like twisted my arm and beat me up and said maybe then.
I won't do that.
My advice would be like try and get the top done first, because these teeth are in great shape, right? These teeth are in great shape.
They're just crooked.
All right, so here's what he's missing. These teeth are in great shape. He's just talking about the bone, the health of the teeth. The guy doesn't like the way the teeth looks. That's his main thing. He's like, yeah, but they're crooked and they're ugly and da-da-da-da. He wants them all done. But really, the hard thing right here is that this is somebody that we're his third consultation, right? This is a third opinion. He understands something about pricing, and he has a price in his head, and we're not asking the question. This is so easy. This is so easy right now. It's like, look, we have to be ready to have a price conversation with somebody that wants to talk about price. So the thing that they need to know is, look, number one, I see the way that your teeth look. I understand why you want to get those fixed, okay? What the patient needs to understand is there are multiple ways and multiple different treatments that you can provide them that are all going to enhance the way they look, right? Significantly. They're going to look significantly better. And you have different options for the patients at different budgets. So there's a couple factors at play here. What can we do? We can do a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, it's trying to match up what it is that you want, right? Give you the best looking teeth that are going to last as long as possible and are going to be the lowest possible maintenance for a dollar amount that you can live with, right? That's what we need. So sometimes it's like, hey, patients come in and money's no option, and we just do this and it's easy and no problem. And other patients going, yeah, listen, I want all that, but I only have X amount that I can spend right now. So sometimes we have to stage into the treatment and do one part now and one part later. Sometimes we have to start with a removable, which isn't the end of the world because we can convert it to a fixed later. One of the things that makes us different is that we have a lot of creative ways to work with you to allow you to accomplish your goals while still staying within a budget that's fair and reasonable for your situation. That's what needs to be said here. That's it, And then we ask them, say, listen, it sounds like, you've already been to 2 other practices. You've had treatment plans. It sounds like you have a budget in mind that you want to stay within. So what dollar amount do you have in your head that you're ready to invest in your smile? And then let's work backwards from there. I'll tell you exactly what you can get. I'll tell you what the best we can do. I'll give you a couple different options. But no matter what, I see the way that your teeth look now. Even if we did a removable and we went with acrylic, even with a provisional, you're going to look 1,000 times better. The transformation is going to be amazing either way. But tell me what you're comfortable spending. You have to ask them that question, because how do you know what to pitch? The last thing you want to do is sit down and not ask. He's telling you, right, that he's got a budget in mind. He's telling you he wants to do both. If he can. So I need to figure out what is that if you can number. Does that make sense? Fast forward this just a little bit.
If you see, sometimes people go through and they'll get that and they go, hell of it, man, I want that on my bottom too. So that's what I would do.
I'm 49 and I'm not necessarily looking for anybody, but you never know when that.
That's right. You want to have some nice teeth.
I've been divorced and I'm engaged right now, but that doesn't always mean that that'll last.
Yeah. We'll make her jealous.
Well, that's
when you're smiling at
give me
these
that
other
$1 million
girls, right?
smile, then see, she's gonna have to try even
Yeah, I
harder.
want
That
to
makes
look
it,
better.
that makes a
Right here.
difference.
She'd
Yeah,
beat my
to
ass if she heard me say that.
be able to do that. Yeah, to be able to do that.
Okay, now check this out, guys.
And for bigger procedures like that.
Basically,
talked about
the guy
in your
said
work.
that I want to do both if I can. I'd rather do fixed if I can, if it's feasible. And we haven't found out if he can become financed, and we don't know a price yet. We don't know what his budget is. So right now they're just kind of moving forward under the assumption that they're just going to do the upper. They're just going to do upper, and it's going to be fixed zirconia. So that's basically what they're treatment planning here. But I don't understand how they're treatment planning, because he doesn't know if he can get financed, and he doesn't know what the prices are. So what he's going to buy could change drastically depending on how much it costs and if he can get financed. So we should be finding that out before we go any further. Instead, we spend about the next 20 minutes going through the logistics of the procedure, how long it will take. We ask him if he's interested in oral conscious sedation, which, by the way, there's no reason to just include it. If you're going to go through the details, just tell them that it's included. Don't ask them, hey, do you want this? Just one more thing to think about that's not really necessary. You're going to include it in the price anyway, so just include it. But I don't see the point in going through the logistics of a treatment that we don't know that he's going to go for yet. I think being his third appointment, you guys can get straight to the point and start talking about money, and then figure out a solution that is going to work for him, because this guy would buy. This is definitely a buyer. All right, now I'm going to go to the last part. So this is like the financial consultation where they actually present the price.
So, don't, have a heart attack when you see this.
Oh, trust me, I've seen the prices before.
I'm gonna do something here for you.
Never say don't have a heart attack before you see this. You're like insinuating that it's an excruciatingly large number, okay?
Easier to visualize. All right, so this is just for the fixed fridge. This is the IV sedation, all your extractions, all the components, everything, your temporary. It would be from A to Z, okay? So the cost comes to $29,377. Dr. Connelly will do the upper fixed bridge for you for $23,999. So as you can see, you get a substantial savings on that. And then, do you know how you want to take care of this? By cash, check, credit card?
You basically have no way to close, because you don't know if that 23,000 is going to represent a good deal for him or not, based on what because it's not his first consultation. And even if it was, there's a way to kind of build it up and sell it better than that, right? You're just kind of like, okay, well, I don't even know what screen this is that we're showing them. But you're just kind of showing them a number on a screen. When you show them the retail number, it's important to discuss what is in that retail number to make it look like, hey, this is a big deal. You're getting a lot of care, a lot more than most places are going to get. That's what we're supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be framed, right? You're getting a lot more than any other dental practice is going to give you. And we're also very, very competitive with our fees. Let me show you what's going to be included at no additional charge. We don't charge for this. We don't charge for this. We don't charge. You have to sell it. Otherwise, it just loses its impact. It doesn't look like a real discount. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help you. It doesn't necessarily hurt you, but it certainly doesn't help you in terms of getting him going, wow, oh man, that's a good deal. Is he saying that right now? I don't know what he's saying, because we never asked him anything, but he's about to shed a little bit of light on it.
No, I want to try and do financing if I can finance.
Okay, so we have a company that we work with called Proceed Finance. If we were to do that, we could take 10% off the 23,999 for the upper fixed.
So it's 23,000 just for the uppers?
Yes.
Yikes.
And that's a substantial savings, as you can see there. I mean, when you price everything out, you're almost at $30,000 there.
I could get both top and bottom for 25 at both of the other places.
Okay, for a fixed bridge or for a
Did you guys
snap?
hear that? He said I can get top and bottom for 25,000 at the other places. We should have known this information in the first 4 minutes of this call. In the first 4 minutes of the call, when he said they didn't understand me, I was tired of playing the system, I would have gotten that information, right? I would have figured out, what did they treatment plan? How much were they charging you? Oh, really? So 25,000 for both. So we're talking a denture, right? An implant supported denture, something like that. Was it many dental implants, regular dental? I would have gotten that information right up front, because right, she's not talking about acrylic, she's talking about zirconium. But how many doctors are going to do double arch zirconia for 25,000, right? No one's going to do that. So you know immediately that that's incorrect. Most likely they're removable, and if they're not removable, best case scenario, it's scaled, right, with a provisional. But either way, all that information, we should have already had it before we ever even made a recommendation or a price. I don't even know how you sell. The whole point of selling somebody is to figure out what their perception of it is, right? What is his perception of what this costs? Maybe he has no idea that, I mean, he probably doesn't know the difference between a hybrid and zirconia or a denture. You know, there's those things have such a huge impact on the cost, right? But you can do it different ways as well. Dr. Connelly does full arch fixed, but he also does implant supported dentures. So the most important thing is, all right, what's your budget? And then explaining the differences. You know, hey, you know, if a doctor says they're going to do both arches for 25, more often than not, it's not going to be fixed, it's going to be removable. And if it is fixed, it's going to be with plastic teeth. That's the only way to make it work. The zirconia is literally made to last for the rest of your life. The plastic teeth are much less expensive to make, but they're also going to wear and break. So, you know, there's a trade-off. There's a couple different ways to do it, but we still need to know, what is the drop dead budget for this person? And he will tell you. He's very, very, very forthcoming. Listen to some of the rest of this. And also, we haven't even, again, right there at the beginning, if he says, you know, that price is an issue, what are we going to do? We go right into triage mode, right? They talk about price or say, I want to do this if I can afford it. If I can't afford it is price, right? They say, if I can afford it, okay. Well, it sounds like you have an idea in your head of where you want to stay with them financially. How much are you looking to spend, or how much are you looking to invest in your smile right now? You know, 20,000, 50,000, 30,000, 15, like ballpark it. You know, what are you comfortable with? What would make it easy? And you get that number out of them, right? And then I would immediately put them through to see if I can get them financed. See him, what is he approved for? That's before they ever even see the doctor. That's before they ever see the doctor. What if you're talking to someone in the first 3 minutes, you ask him that question, goes, well, you know, I really need to stay within $3,000. I'd like to get both done. Movie star smile, $3,000 to spend. Got a 120 credit score. You gonna spend an hour with this guy? No. So get the information. We have to talk to him. You know, if we're operating in a straight line, then take a straight line. We can't run from the price conversation. It's a good one to have, especially with second and third opinions. I want to figure out everything they didn't like about the first two treatment plans. Why did they not already pull the trigger? That's a question that you definitely want to have the answer to.
Fixed.
And you happen to have that treatment plan here with you?
I don't have it with me. Where the hell did I put it? I do.
Hold on. I just got a question I just want to answer real quick. It says, okay, so if we do that in the beginning, how do we come back from that if he's saying he can get both for the same price as one arch with us? How do we break that down for him that it's not the same as what we do? Well, it can't be the same because, again, you know, by that price point at $25,000 that no one's doing full arch fixed for $12,500 an arch with zirconia. I mean, nobody's doing that. So the odds of it being the same are virtually zero. If he said $40,000 for both, you know, then it's much more likely, right? Even if he said 37 or 38, but 25 for both, it's just not. It's going to be removable, or it's going to be some type of a denture based appliance there. So I wouldn't worry about it being the same. But you take the opportunity. If he says, well, I can get both for 25, and say, well, I mean, that's basically what you're saying is 12,500 per arch. There's things that we can do. There's full arch treatment plans that we have that we can do for you immediately that are 12,500 an arch. I mean, if that's the tipping point, but there's trade-offs. Let me show you, right? There's the biggest component. The two biggest components are A, the number of implants that are going to be placed, and B, the type of teeth that you're going to get, what the material that the teeth are going to be made out of. Okay, so with a removable, you're probably going to have maybe 2 implants, and you're going to have plastic teeth, right? And here's the pros and cons. With the fixed, you're going to have 4 or 6 or even more, depending on the situation, and you're going to have zirconia. Here's the difference between these two. Now, the zirconia costs about 5 times more to make than the traditional denture, but it's also built to last the rest of your life. Doesn't chip, crack, or break. And obviously, aesthetic-wise, you know, if you're looking for the most beautiful smile that you can get that's going to last, that's going to look great, then obviously there's really no comparison between these two. And you show it to them. That's how you sell. You build value. I mean, at $25,000 an arch, I've never heard of anyone doing double arches for 25 grand. So, but this is how patients get confused. They get confused because everyone just kind of calls it all on 4, even though, you know, one is a hybrid and one is zirconia, or, you know, one is nanoceramic, and one they're just putting them in the provisional and just treatment planning that aspect of it. So it's easy for them to get confused, and your job is to make it simple, right? Eliminate the confusion. Just eliminate the confusion, figure out what he wants to spend, and then be upfront and honest about what some of the trade-offs are, you know, because you can do it either way. But those are good conversations to have. Don't worry about them, don't worry about getting stuck with an answer. Even if he said, oh, I can get, let's say it wasn't that big, because that dramatic is very easy to handle. But if he said, oh man, I've got quotes from other practices that said that they can do it at 20,000 an arch. So you're at 23, that's $6,000 less, and it's also zirconia, then you can start selling. And again, that's the point of the bundle. If you did the bundle close the right way, you already separated yourself from everybody else with your warranty, with everything that's going to go into it, and with how he's going to look. That's what this guy cares about. So that's what you want to do, is build his enthusiasm. If you have befores and afters, you tell him, say, look, you want to see what you're going to look like with zirconia at this practice? Because I've seen, and you've probably seen too, people that get this procedure done and all the teeth just look the same. They just look like standard teeth, like you took it out of a mold and just put it in. That's not how we do it here. There's a certain amount of artistic ability that goes into lab work for these teeth, to craft them for your face, something that's gonna look amazing just for you. Let me show you. And you take out your portfolio, you start showing them some before and afters. You gotta get them emotionally invested, and you gotta get them going. Anybody that is there for cosmetics, that wants to look good, that's gonna be an impulse buyer. They're easy. They're super easy to close. They're much easier than the person that doesn't give a damn how they look. They're just there because they absolutely have to be. They'd rather be anywhere else right now, but they have no options. So they're in your chair, but they definitely do not want to be there. that person is infinitely more difficult to get to move forward than the person that's there because they choose to be there. He's there because he wants to be there. He wants better looking teeth. He wants to look better, feel better at the end of the day. So definitely have those conversations with them.
I do have it somewhere.
Because I'd be happy to take a look at it for you
Make sure
to see
it's
if
right.
something that, you know, because I don't know if I'm comparing apples to oranges here, so.
Right, no, and I
And it could
understand
be,
that.
they may do something completely different
I
than what
know
we
the one
do.
doctor does all the anesthesia himself, pulls the teeth, does everything that day, blah, 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 and then the other dentist just does the fitting.
Okay, well, Dr. Connelly does everything here.
Okay.
You would come in, we would do the IV sedation.
The guy probably only got quoted for the surgical fee. That's probably what happened. I'll tell you, he probably went in to see a specialist, got quoted for the surgical fee, and he hasn't even seen the restoring dentist yet. If I had to bet, I would bet that's the case here, just from what he just said. You know, so I would have asked him, okay, have you seen the dentist? What type of restoration are you getting? You know what I mean? He's not going to have the answers because he probably just saw an oral surgeon or a periodontist. They quoted him for their fee and they're going to refer him out. And then he's going to get the second treatment plan. And I tell him that. I say, look, you know, when it comes to full arch dental implants, full mouth dental implants, the thing is there's more than one way to do this, right? And that's good and bad. The good is you have options. So based on your budget, the odds of us being able to work something out for you that you're going to be happy with are very high because we do have different ways to do it. The bad is that you can easily mistake one type of treatment plan for another, and it can start to get confusing, right? For instance, they say all on 4. Well, that just means all of something sitting on 4 implants. But the all of something is pretty important too. That's the actual teeth, right? So it can be all on 4 and you got plastic teeth. It could be all on 4 and you got nanoceramic teeth. It could be all on 4 and you have a hybrid. It could be all on 4 and you have zirconia, all at different price points, all with different pros and cons, depending on what's important to you, right? You could have a situation where someone's doing all on 4, someone has, is placing 6 implants. You can, there's a situation where there's, where it's not even fixed. It's removable, but it's kind of positioned like it's fixed. So it can get super confusing, right? But what I can tell you at $25,000 for the full fee, that's more likely to be just a surgical fee, or it's a fee for a removable, or at the very, very least, it's with plastic teeth. Does that make sense? I want that information. I would have had that conversation literally within the first 10 minutes because I don't know what to recommend. I don't even know. And I don't even know if it's feasible for him to buy anything yet. That's the whole point of the 10-10-10 is to pre-qualify and triage. That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point. So when the patient gives you an opportunity to pre-qualify and triage, please, God, do it. Don't ignore it. Do it. That's the whole purpose. There's no reason to even see the doctor or even take a scan if they say, yeah, my budget's $300, my budget's $5,000, right? No, we're triaging that out. And if it's their third opinion, we don't have to waste our time with a ton of procedure. We need to more get to the point. And the point is, what do you want? What's most important to you so you know how to frame it? How much do you want to spend? And how do I work this out for you? What's going to be the situation that you're most likely to buy? And the earlier you can figure that out, the better it is for both.
We would place the implants and do all your extractions, and you would get your temporary denture, and then you would heal for 3 months, and then we'd start the process of fabricating the fixed bridge because we need you to heal and get those implants in there nice and solid.
For sure.
So
tell me that again. So
let's see where we would be at. If we were to see what Proceed Finance had to offer for you, like I said, it'd be $23,999 with the 10% off if you were to be approved through them, or they would show you some loans that they could offer you. It would be $21,599.
Okay.
And if you'd like, we can go ahead and see what type of loan they can offer you.
Let's do that.
It's a soft hit. It's not anything anybody else sees. It's just to see if you
No, that's fine. Let's do that.
All right.
And then we can make some
decisions.
Yeah, some good decisions.
Yeah.
Right? Should have already been done. Should have already done this. Don't be afraid to do it. Don't be afraid to run through Proceed right at the beginning, right? But it says, if it's feasible to do both arches, okay, well, what's feasible? You know, you have a dollar amount in your head. What is it? You get that information right off the bat, right? Then collect their information, run through proceeds, see if they're approved. Once they're approved, now you have an idea, right? So judging by everything that he said throughout the call, he probably has a good amount of money to actually be able to put down, but you can tell he would rather finance the whole thing if he can, just to make it easy. But he probably has both. So I'll fast forward through this proceed part, but he ends up getting approved.
670. They only go up to 60 months. Looks like I'm approved for 25,000.
It says up to, yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so
Got approved for 25.
that gives me something to think about. Now I want to see what we can do for, if I do you have a total for top, bottom?
Let me see
all
what
9 yards?
all right, so you were looking at the fixed bridge on the top, is my understanding.
Correct.
And then you're talking about the lower.
Yeah.
What did you guys discuss about the lower?
Well, he said to leave them right now until, because he thought my teeth were good, but at that point, you know, it's like I'm gonna spend that kind of money, I kind of want to do them all.
Mm-hmm.
But he said the bottom ones seem to be fine.
Mhm.
Just fix the ones that were
Right,
there, so.
right.
But I would rather do them all if it's possible.
He's asking for to do both of them again, right? So throughout this call, it's been 48 minutes long. I think he said that he wants both done 4 or 5 times. 4 or 5 times, we're not really hearing them on that, right? And again, he said, if it's possible, I'd like to do both of them. Okay, so what would make it possible? What dollar amount would you say, okay, let's just do it? Because it's possible to do zirconia on the top and something different on the bottom. You guys can get creative, but you know, you need to understand where his head is at. The last thing I want to do, I want to try to avoid showing a price and then going, oh, yikes. You know, that I just feel like that shouldn't happen, especially with a second opinion. It shouldn't be a yikes situation. It should be a situation where I already know how they're going to view this number before I ever show it to them.
Well, this is the way I would look at it. Dr. Connelly is recommending that the teeth on the lower are the best, you know, that are in decent and restorable shape right now.
Mm-hmm.
If it was myself and you know, I would go with the best option for the ones that need to be restored, and save maybe some of your natural teeth on the bottom, and maybe we could come up with a better option, you know, in the future, maybe a partial.
Okay. Can you tell me how much the snappy dentures are?
Sure. So a snappy denture can run anywhere from about just the snappy denture itself, not the extractions and all that, anywhere from about $7,500 just to over $13,000, depending on the amount of implants that he would recommend.
Okay.
See, this is how we mess up in a negotiation, is we don't have any idea of his reference points, and he's just getting prices from us. That we want to do the exact opposite of that, right? I don't want them to just go, okay, well, how much is full arch? Well, it's 25 grand. Okay, how much is removable? It's about 12 grand. Okay, how much is just a regular denture? It's about 5 grand. Okay, let me think about it. That's miserable, right? That's miserable. It's, hey, how much is this? Well, how much do you want to spend, right? There's different ways to do it. You know, just to say full arch, there's different types of material we can use. There's ways of staging it out to get you into something that's really good and upgrade it later. There's a lot of different ways. It really depends on what you want and what your budget is. So what's your budget? Give me a dollar amount, something that would make it easy and comfortable for you to move forward. And let me get creative with some different ways that we can help you. Because it's not like there's just one way to do this. You know, we'll work it out for you. You know, we want to get you the best possible clinical outcome, give you the most beautiful smile that you can have so you look great. But we also recognize that we have to, you know, that you have a certain dollar amount you need to spend, and it's our job to make something work with that budget. So where are you at? You know, and then ballpark them. Where are you at? $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, you know, or is a monthly payment more important? You know, getting financed, having something, you know, to where maybe you could do double the amount if you have monthly payments. Ask them, talk about it right up front. You know, before we get to this point where they're just getting prices from us and we're just blindly giving prices, you really can't sell that way. There's almost no strategy, and you're almost guaranteed, because you're just giving him different prices, his brain is going like this, you know? So you're almost guaranteed to set yourself up for an ending where he says, let me think about it. You're almost guaranteed. Because he doesn't really have any clarity in what to do. He wants to be told what to do. Like, all right, tell me what's best. What would you do here? And what he wants to hear is, yeah, we can do both arches immediately, and you're going to look amazing. That's what he wants to hear.
The one thing I will say about like the snappy, it comes in and out, and I will let you know that, just a second, I have arthritis in my hand, sorry. I never can pop this thing off. Anyways, when it pops off, there are little components in here that can wear out. It's just my hands flared up today. That can wear out. These, you know, they're great.
Yep.
This is warranted for a year.
That snap is?
Yep. This particular appliance is warranted for a year.
Oh, okay.
This one is warranted for 7 years.
Okay.
And doesn't have the capability, you know, the possibility of the little O-rings having, I mean, it's not that expensive, but
still,
it is taking it in and out. They do wear and do have to be replaced, where with this, you wouldn't have that.
You don't have that. Okay.
And you don't have to worry about taking it in and out and whatnot.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me talk with my fiance and see what she says, which way she wants me to go.
Okay.
And I'll just give you guys a shout back and we'll get the process started. I gotta do something soon.
Now, you did say that you went to some other places and they talked about some lower prices.
Yeah.
If you can get me a copy of that, I'll be glad to take a look at it.
Yeah.
So we know what we're comparing, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, because I don't want to have them do it and find out it was 40,000 and I didn't understand what they were talking about.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly, right? I can guarantee he's looking at a surgical fee there from a specialist. If the specialist is going to send him to another practice to get the restorative done, right? Then if they're not doing it in-house, then you know those prices are completely impossible, right? Because they both have to charge their fees. So you know right off the bat that that's not exactly correct. But right now he doesn't really have anything to buy, you know, because he's confused. He's still confused, and he still doesn't have a solution. He wants both upper and lower, and he doesn't have a solution for that. And he doesn't have any definitive answer for how to compare your treatment plans to the ones he had before. So he just went to his third consultation, and he's probably more confused after the third one than he was from the first two. So he just has a general lack of clarity. So, I mean, I couldn't see any way for him to say, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm in. He's confused about the pricing. He wants to have both done. He's confused about what they'll do with the lower. Right now, it's just in limbo. We're just saying, just leave it. And he doesn't really want that. So he probably wants some clarity in terms of, okay, if I leave it, well, how long do I leave it for? And what can you do in the interim to make them look better? I don't want, you know, beautiful teeth on top and horrible teeth on the bottom. And how's that going to look? He's probably got all of these things that are just confusing him right now. You're guaranteed to get a let me think about it with this.
No,
that's I don't want you to be getting a lesser quality product, thinking you're, you know, go there, think you're going to get a lesser quality product. And you could have come here and got a higher end quality product, and
spent the same amount.
Then you're upset and you're spending the same amount of money. So,
well, I'd rather be here anyway, because I'm working right here in St. John's, DeWitt area. So I don't want to have to go to Detroit every time.
I will tell you this. I've been in dental assisting. Started in dental 29 years ago. And I made an agreement to myself that I would never, ever work for someone I couldn't stand behind their work. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just saying this to say it. Dr. Connelly is outstanding at what he does.
That's good.
And I promise you, he's one of the best there is in the area.
Yeah, that's good to know, because that's the scariest thing with this whole thing is you get somebody
just don't know
what the hell they're doing.
Exactly. You just don't know.
And it's, you know, in the same way when it comes to construction. I wouldn't want to work for a company that I couldn't stand behind.
Exactly. Yep.
So that's awesome to hear. Like I said, I would rather come here. It's so much faster and easier for me to get to, and you know, it's not completely a money problem or issue. It's just I just had a figure in my head, and I'll go see if I can find that. I'm pretty sure I know where I put it.
He just said he has a figure in his head. He just told you, I got a figure in my head. We still don't know. We never ask. In an hour, we never ask. You can't do that. Guys, that is such a buying question. Guys, I have $1 in my head that I want to spend. What information would you want to know more important than that if you're trying to sell this person, right? Oh, you have an exact figure? What is it? Where are you trying to stay? Help me out here. Where are you trying to get? Are you trying to stay within 25? Are you trying to stay within 35? Are you trying to stay within 15? What are you trying to stay within? And I'll back into it. Because there's probably ways, no matter what, with whatever your budget is, there's ways to get you started where you're going to look amazing, even if we have to stage it out and do one stage now, get you looking really good, and then do a different stage later to make it a more permanent solution for you. There's different ways. It just depends on your budget and your time frame. That's all. But I promise you're not going to have another consultation. I understand how frustrating it can be. You go to a couple different consultations. It's confusing. You come in here, we'll make it easy. We're going to work it out for you, right? We're going to work it out. We'll work it out. You're going to leave with a beautiful smile. So you tell me what you want to spend, and I'll just work backwards from there, and I'll take care of everything. It would have been a really interesting answer because you've got somebody sitting in front of you that is approved for $25,000 right now, and he has no clarity in what he should buy. It's not that he won't pull the trigger. This guy, you can tell with his body language, he's done research, he's ready to go. And more importantly, this guy wants the treatment. He's asked to do both arches 4 times. He wants it. And I got $25,000 that's done. And he's got no clarity on treatment plan. So I think those are the biggest misses. And what actually happened on the follow-up of this?
The patient talked to the fiance and they decided to buy a house first.
Oh, that's what he said anyways. So he said the patient talked to his fiance and they decided to buy a house first, which I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. What does your mortgage have to do with this? Stop it, right? That's nonsense. No, he probably he went back to one of the other places or went somewhere else and someone told him they can do upper and lower, removable for whatever that budget was in his head, right? He's probably got a budget that he probably already even spoke with his fiance about that they're good with spending. That's why he said he has a figure. Someone got within that figure and closed them. And, you know, he's not going to say, I decided to go somewhere else. I don't know that to be a fact, but that would be what I would put my money on over this guy just waiting. I mean, he even said at the end, you know, I got to do something soon. You can tell he wants it. So he's pretty invested to have already done 3 consultations. He's obviously very interested, and he has been approved for financing. So somebody's going to close him, right? That $25,000 staring you in the face, that's a case that should be closed. Okay, look, we got a couple minutes left, but just to do a quick recap, and then I'll take some questions. Quick recap, someone sitting in front of you, it's a second opinion, and they allude to something not going right. One of the main things you want to know is what was the treatment plan and why didn't they move forward? You want to know that. Then if they say, they're going to tell you about what they're looking for. And if they say anything at all related to cost, or if they say, you know, if it's affordable, I want to do this, or if it's reasonable, I want to do this, or if it's possible, I want to do this, or anything like that, then we immediately ask, well, it sounds like you have a figure in your head what you're looking to stay within. You know, when it comes to full arch options, there are, you know, 5 or 6 different ways that we can approach the case, all with different treatment plans. Every single one of them will put you in a significantly better position than you're in right now, all at totally different price points, right? Sometimes people think there's only just one way and there's one price. That's not true. You know, here, one of the things that we do and that Dr. Connelly does that I really like is he really works with people to find the best possible solution for the budget that they have to invest. So maybe what would be easier and shave some time off everything is you tell me what you're willing to invest, what ballpark you're in, and we can kind of work backwards from there, and we'll come up with some creative options. But, you know, I see the way your teeth look, and I understand why you want to have a better looking smile. We can definitely do that. So are you looking like 25,000, 50,000, one arch, both arches, full mouth? What? Just kind of give me an idea of exactly what you want, what would make it easy. That's in the first 5 minutes of this one. From there, if you have that information, everything else is so much easier on the call because you know how they're going to, what his perception of that price is going to be, right? He said something about price right at the beginning. Dr. Connelly came in the room and then he said a panhandler's budget, right? If anyone says anything like that, like I need some cheap damn implants that look great and last forever, I'm going to ask, well, you know, depends on what your definition of cheap damn implants are. I mean, we can make full arch implants very affordable, but just with everything, you know, at different prices, there's pros and cons and there's trade-offs, you know, not that any of them are wrong. It's just what's right for you. And then our job is going to be to set the expectation and give you the best possible clinical outcome. So what's your definition of a panhandler's budget? Are you looking to get the whole mouth done, one arch, upper or lower? Or where are you at? 20,000, 10,000, 50,000, right? You could have done it right there. And then at the end again, right? If he says, well, you know, if it's feasible, he even reiterated. She's like, well, what? He said, well, okay, can you give me a fee for the upper and lower? Because he heard the fee for the one. Then he said, give me a fee for the upper and lower. Says, well, what'd you talk to Dr. Connelly about? Well, he said, just leave him, but I'd rather just do it all at one time. So it's not like he was running from the 23, right? He said, yikes, but it wasn't like he was running from it. He still wanted to know what's the total amount that I have to pay for, you know, and he got approved for 25. So that means he has some cash too. So just as a recap, don't be afraid to take a shortcut with somebody that's a second or a third opinion. Don't be afraid to have that conversation. Have it. That's why they're there. They're there to have the conversation. But more importantly, you wouldn't want to spend an hour or 90 minutes with somebody that's in la la land, somebody that thinks, hey, yeah, I've got a budget and my budget's $1,000. Makes sense? Sure. And you guys have any specific questions or comments on the treatment plan? Anything specific for me to go through? We've got a couple minutes. We've got 4 minutes. Anyone had anything similar? I mean, are you guys actually having that conversation? I feel like this is a topic, literally every single closing institute, we go over it. Every single catalyst, we go over it. And almost every single webinar, we go over it. It's a negotiation versus a sale. This man he didn't need to be sold. He's a buyer. He's already in. He wants it. There's nothing to sell to him. You just have to negotiate to get him something that he deems to be fair and reasonable for him to actually move forward. That's all it is. It's just a very simple negotiation about money. You don't have to worry. It's so easy. You don't even have to worry about selling them, right? And what if he says his budget's $15,000? His budget's 15 grand. Okay, what can you do for 15 grand? You can extract the teeth, you can place the implants, and you can put them in a provisional. And you guarantee that provisional for 18 months or 12 months, and then he can move forward with the final after that. Spread it out for him. Guy's a construction worker. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I spend a lot of time on the phone working the funnel and, you know, getting people on the phone to talk to me about coming in for a consultation. So I want to make sure that they have realistic expectations. I want to make sure they have an idea of how much this costs. But I also don't, just like you said, I don't want to start listing off prices. You know, this is this and this is this. I need to build value and sell, but I'm on the phone. So do you have any tips for that?
Don't bring up price if they don't bring it up,
Okay.
right? I would just, that's not more than a tip. That's more like a rule, because it can come off the wrong way. If you have someone calling and price isn't a concern for them, you might have someone calling because they're like, hey, I don't really care what the price is. I just want to go somewhere where I just want to see the best doctor. right? I don't care what it is. I'm not going to skimp on this. I just want to see the best doctor. And when you get somebody on the phone like that, those are typically the easiest people to sell. But if you get them on the phone, you start going, okay, so listen, just so you know, this procedure starts at 25,000. It can be a bit presumptuous, right? Like if I'm on the phone, I'm like, why are you do you think I can't afford it or something?
Right.
Why are we even discussing this? Right. I never, that's not an issue. It can come off wrong. So be careful with just bringing it up. Only triage when they tell you that triage is necessary. When is triage necessary? When someone calls and says, hey, I saw you guys are offering dental implants. I want to come in for a consultation, but before I come in, I kind of want to have an idea of price just to make sure this is feasible for me. Immediately, they're already asking about price. So yeah, that's when you want to triage. But again, before you give them the price, I want to get a price from them. That's the whole art of negotiation. It's very simple. Never give a price without getting a price first. That's why in a negotiation, neither person wants to give a number. Right? We're like, well, how much you charge for this? Well, how much you want to spend? That's how it goes. So if they say, well, how much is it for implants? Okay, so you're talking about full arch implants, like an all-on-4 or something like that? Yeah. Okay, well, when it comes to that, we have 5, 6, even 7 different types of options that are all full arch treatments. All of them give great results in their own right, and all of them are at completely different price points. And that's one of the things that really separates us from a lot of other practices that only do it one way, is we really work with people depending on what their budget is. But just based on just a little bit that we've spoken, it sounds like you have a budget in mind that you're trying to stay within. So what are you trying to stay within? Or give me an idea and I can kind of work backwards from there and help you through this whole thing. Are you talking 20,000? 50,000, 10,000, it doesn't have to be exact, just kind of ballpark it for me. And we can just work backwards from there. Where are you looking to stay within? And you get the number out of them. That's how you do it. That's how you triage. Never list off prices because you don't know how they're going to interpret that price.
Right.
You haven't had a chance to build value. We don't really know what they want. We haven't done any selling or influencing at all. It's just like when someone calls me and go, oh, send me over a price sheet. Yeah, wait on that, buddy. Like, what are you talking about? That's ridiculous. I'm never going to do that.
Right. So try to get something out of them first. I usually say, what, do you have any idea how much this costs? Have you done much research? Tell me a little bit about what you're looking for and try to pull it out of them.
That's good. That's good. Say all those things to figure out what they're looking for and what they want, but also just be direct. Say, we have, and this is how you deflect it. They're asking you for a price. The easiest way to deflect it is to say that we have a lot of different prices, all at different budgets, all with great clinical outcomes in their own right. There's pros and cons and trade-offs, but it really depends on what you want and what your budget is. And that's what separates us from a lot of the other practices is we're very creative in our ways of creating treatment plans that will both give you something that you're very, very happy with and that you want, a great clinical outcome, and also stay within whatever your budget is. So give me an idea, right? That's the easiest way. It works like crazy. You don't even have to mess with it. Don't overthink it. That's as complicated as that deflection gets. And it doesn't matter if it's over the phone or in person, it's done the same way.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. Any other questions, guys? You good? That makes sense? That help? I thought it was a pretty good one to listen to. So Veronica will be putting together the webinar and emailing it out. So if anyone else in the office wants to listen to it, you guys will have it to share. And then we're going to have another one, obviously, next month. But just keep in mind, if you're having trouble with something like this, anytime somebody gets approved for financing, they don't move forward, you need to write that down and really ask some questions on why. If we get them financed and they don't move forward, something went wrong. So any questions you have, email them over, call us. You can call Veronica, myself, your account manager, whatever it is, and we'll help you through it. But make sure, hey, if you guys are wearing those masks, be engaged. You cannot sound mechanical with this. You have to mind your tone and you got to get into it. And always remember, if they want something like a beautiful smile, if they're aesthetically inclined, it's going to be an impulse sale. It's all about emotion at that point. It's all about emotion. Those are the easiest people to get to close, are the people that are going to buy based on emotion and with impulse. So to get emotion, you have to give emotion. So be there, be present. Don't forget what we're trying to do. We're not just trying to get through a consultation. We're trying to get them to move forward with something. So I need to know what they can buy and what they want. I know those two things, then we can get it done. Okay? All right, guys. Thanks for the time. Talk to you guys later. See you next month.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.